it's Liz Yuille from Old Stables Crafts. Thank you very much for joining me again today. Today's project is another of the whole lot of lovely craft box projects. I'm actually going to case this because I think that's a beautiful card, but I'm going to have a slightly different tilt on it. Only slightly, I would be perfectly honest. So let's get going. And I have got the lovely striped floral. It can go in either direction pretty much because it's growing both up and down and sideways. So I've cut this to my usual first size mat, which is 5 5/8 by 3 7/8. Remember, all of the measurements are below. For metric, that's 14 1/4 by 9 3/4. Now, when I made the box previously, you will remember that I had these bits left over. So I've taken a strip of this Tranquil Tide, and I've cut that at 1 1/2 inches. I'm going to run it through the embossing folder and then cut it, because putting card through an embossing folder makes it a different size. So just remember that. I've got a Pear Pizzazz card base. So that's A4 cut in half to make A5, scored down the middle and folded in half. And I'm going to do my card in the portrait view rather than landscape. This needs a bone folder. Then I've got some scraps of Whisper White and Pool Party. So first things first, let's run the Tranquil Tide through our lovely dynamic embossing folder. This is the Fallen Leaves, or Falling Leaves, Fallen. Oh, it's not even that, it's Layered Leaves. Okay, if you say so. Right, so the emboss, to get embossed, you put it with the Stampin Up side up. So I'm just going to spritz it with some water because it helps just get it going a bit. So, and I'm doing that on both sides of the card, so you can possibly see that that's now wet. And it doesn't actually matter how you lie that on because it's a fairly abstract pattern, so you could put it at an angle if you wanted. In fact, I might put it at an angle. Yeah. And then just run this through the embossing folder, Big Shot. And you just need your base plate, standard Big Shot platform, your embossing folder, and one acrylic plate, because as it's a thick embossing folder, it is the thickness of one of the plates. So there we go. That will dry by the time we need to use it. So I'm now going to cut this down so that it's the same width as the paper, so to 3 7/8 of an inch. And of course, because it's damp, it doesn't want to slide. In fact, actually, I'm going to take that end off because it's already partly off. So there we go. So that is our piece to layer on there. But we'll come back to that because we need to do some stamping. I've got the Thinking of You stamp from the add-on Lots of Love stamp set. So this is an optional add-on, as is the embossing folder to my craft box. And if you let me know that you want that, I can include it without increasing the postage. So to stamp this, I am going to ink up in, I've just brought in some scratch paper for later, I'm going to ink up in Pear Pizzazz. And apparently over ink the edges. That's it. And just pop that down on my Whisper White. Lovely. And of course it doesn't need to be square because I'm going to punch it out with a circle punch. Just going to clean that off because I need it again. So I'm now bringing in a real scrap of Whisper White, and this is what I use for it's the offcuts from when I've cut my mats. So I'm just going to ink that up in Tangerine Tango. And this possibly wasn't the most sensible thing I've ever done. I'm going to pop this back on so that it's square to the block, because that gives me some hope of actually stamping this straight. Some, but not much. This is a bottom out job for actually, you know what, let's make life really easy. Let's get rid of that and just stamp it here. So much easier. Although that's of course wrong. Oh dear, it's going to be one of those mornings. Right, let's clean that off. Forget about the ink pad. Actually no, I won't forget about the ink pad. I'm going to bring in some washi tape to mask off an area of the stamp, because I just want going across the thinking of you. I don't want the rest, and that's what's causing me the angst. Can you actually see what I'm doing? It would help if I brought it in, really, wouldn't it? So I've just got some washi tape, and of course it can be any washi tape, it just happens to be what's sitting on my craft bench, and I'm just going to ink that up. Perfect. Remove the washi tape, dispose of the washi tape, and then cover your fingers in ink, of course. That's better, only slightly, but better. And then stamp it down. That's better. Right, okay, so I've got the classic label punch, which I'm just going to bring in and line that up in the middle and punch, and then get rid of that, and then I'm going to bring it back in and flag the end. Isn't that just the neatest trick? There we go. So those are those ends flagged. So I don't need the rough paper anymore. And then I'm going to punch this out. And again, flag the ends. And you're going to be thinking, but that's the same length, Liz. Yeah, I know. But we can resolve that. There we go. Right, so that's those bits. Don't need the scrappy bits. Let's get rid of those. Right, punch out my thinking of you in the Pear Pizzazz. And that's the 1 3/4 inch circle punch. And now we're ready to put it all together. So let's start by grabbing some snail, and let me just make sure that I don't do what I normally do, which is everything in the wrong order. So let's pop some snail down on our card base. Whoops. Don't rush your snail, otherwise it does go stringy. So let's just pop that down. And snail is perfect for sticking designer series paper to a card. Then we've got our, still actually slightly damp. Let me just blast that with the heat gun under the desk. I rather over-spritzed it with water. It does help to spritz with water because it just makes the paper a little more, or the card a little more giving. Otherwise it could just tear a wee bit. That's better. Right, now I've got a piece of the mini sequin trim. I'm going to, where's my silicone mat? Where is my silicone mat? Oh, there it is. There's my silicone mat. That's my dirty silicone mat. Let's bring in my clean silicone. Oh, they're neither of them clean. Okay, let's bring in the cleaner of my two silicone mats, because what I want to do is run some fast fuse down the edge of one of the edges of that, and just fold it over so that you catch all of the adhesive back onto the card. Then get your sequin trim and lay it just so that it's caught on there. You see? So we kind of want it so that the cord, which holds body and soul together, is just visible, but only just. And then just press that down. Oop, preferably without wibbling it. That's better. So just press that down, and then you can trim off your end. There we go. Get rid of that sequin. Keep those because you can then use those. In fact, we might use those now. We can use those for part of our embellishment. Tuck the end in. So there we are. So that's nicely almost straight. That's better. Right, so some more. Ooh, I've lost one of my sequins. Let's just pop him back on. Ooh, or not. Let's not worry. So let's just pop some more fast fuse along the back of our embossed piece and pop that there. Then I want this to go across the middle, but I want that on dimensionals. So perfect for this piece here. Oh, it's actually a bit too long now. Let's cut that off. Let's get rid of that. It's not going to play, so let's not bother about it. Right, so that goes there, that goes there. This we are going to cut, because then it's longer. So this I'm going to just pop a piece of fast fuse on each end. Complete with some jumper. Right, so I want these slightly down. So kind of there. So I'm lining it up with the bottom of the thinking, more or less. Yep. So that's that. And pop our thinking of you across the middle. And then stick all of this onto our card. And then, because we've got them, we might as well use our sequins. Now, in the new catalogue, there are adhesive sequins, and they are lush. They're in all sorts of colours. I mean, you get them as a pack, but they are in all sorts of colours. So you don't have to worry about doing this sort of thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that'll do. So I'm just going to, because I've got them, I might as well use them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And oh no, it's not going to play. It's not going to. Oh, there we go. One, 2, 3, 4. And the Tombow will dry clear, so I'm not worried that it's squished out a wee bit. Don't need that because it's rubbish. Right, so there we go. So let me bring in what I cased it from. So I've cased it from this, and there is our version of it. So just because you see something in the catalogue, don't think you can't borrow from it, because you can. That's what this is here for. It's here to be cased. So there we go. In fact, I might possibly do that next, because I like that a lot. In fact, I like all of them. Anyway, so there we go. I hope you enjoyed that. If you did, give it a thumbs up. If you need the craft box, well, of course you need the craft box. Hop over to my store, to my blog, and you'll find my email address. I think it's below as well. Maybe not. No, it's on my... Anyway, all the details are over on my blog. So, yeah. Look forward to seeing you again soon. If you don't already subscribe, please hit the subscribe button. You can also subscribe to my blog just by filling in the subscribe by email form at the top. If you need a spring, summer and celebration catalogue and you don't already have a demonstrator, please fill in the form on my blog, which is the request form. That's UK only, and I will get one of those out to you as quickly as I can. Obviously we're hitting the Christmas period now, so, and I have no idea what day this is, so yeah, it will be out with you as soon as I can get it out. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you again soon.